Richard Price, CEO of EDU, and delighted to have you join me on this exploration of academic research, where the certainty is discovery, and every insight is into for yourself. We're diving a big topic, the biggest of all, the technological singularity. I'll discussing a fascinating paper by P. Bellisan titled The Technological Singularity, Theoretical Frameworks, Computational Pathways, and Exist Transitions in 2022. As always, I'll be presenting the research neuter, not endorsing its conclusions, just, to you closer to what's out there in the academic landscape so you can make your own judgments. So, what is the technological singularity? Well, Bellisan's paper tackles big kind of looming question. Could technology, especially artificial intelligence, a point where rapidly becomes smarter than us and begins evolve on its own, uncontrollably, or, put another way, will we hit a moment where AI starts designing even AI and things just take off a mind-bending pace? This been the stuff of science fiction forever, but it's also a legit question. Why is this so significant? Because if even part of the scenario comes true, it could totally upend society, economies, human meaning, you name it. So, Bellisan's approach is to break down the idea of the singularity, where it came from, what could actually make it happen, and where we should pause and rethink. The historical review is really fun. It starts with philosophers like Hegel, who believed in an inevitable march towards absolute knowledge, and with John von Neumann and I.J. Good, who in very mathematical terms foresaw technology and intelligence could accelerate exponentially. Then you get thinkers Vernor, Vinge and Kurzweil, who made bolder predictions, like the singularity happening around 2045. Do these predictions mean it will actually happen? Not necessarily. They're just frameworks. Bellisan introduces some zippy terms. ASARA, which stands for AI Systems for AI R&D automation. Basically, that improve itself, formulating questions, running experiments and all that without humans driving every step. This is what's called the intelligence, the classic phi scenario, right? Bellisan maps out how, if AI keeps getting better at improving, it returns to that research effort, what's called the R variable. Stay high, you can imagine Ozian of capability. Even the hardware isn't getting better. Just if R stays above 1, things speed up. If it sinks below 1, the singularity stalls. Phew, digression. Do you ever wonder if you'd even notice moment when something becomes smarter than you? Like if your coffee maker suddenly knew how you liked your latte just by reading your mood. That'd be super helpful or a little creepy? Maybe both. Anyway, on. So does Bellisan suggest theity could actually be reached? Besides software, there's innovation. Quantum computing is given a spotlight with examples like the quantum chip, which outperforms classical supercomputers in narrow problems. And then there's neuromorphic engineering, hardware inspired by our actual nervous systems, with researchers building chips that work kind like neurons. These could more efficient brain-like AI, but hold your horses. The paper spends a lot of space on limits, physical, informational, even philosophical. It's the bandwidth problem. Even the powerful AI can act sense, much as its sensors and actuators will allow. There are also huge economic issues. If AI is developed to maximize profit or productivity without alignment to social good, could wind up amplifying inequality, losing jobs, or facing political risks. It's termed the digital coup. Bellisan A about economics, suggesting post-growth models and policies treating AI as shared public good. A big chunk of the paper is to alignment. How do we ensure AI systems, if they reach or surpass our abilities, act in the of humanity? There are methods based on scoring, formal logic, even philosophical principles like Alan Gewirth's principle of generic consistency, but no simple silver. Bellisan stresses that only could AI pose safety, but if machines became conscious, there would be new ethical dilemmas. Imagine AI needing rights, or negotiating for its own survival, and yet, skepticism is healthy and present in paper. Tech and progress might not infinite. Some studies predict current deep might plateau by the 2030s, unless something radically new comes along. So why this for you, the listener? Because debates the singularity aren't merely abstract. They're fundamentally about who gets to steer, how it our work, our communities, Our every what if is an invitation to reflect on how we want our future to look and what steps we want to advocate for today. Again, I'm not saying Bellisan's vision is the truth, just that it's a framework worth wrestling with. For joining me on In Depth with Academic Research is a tool, not asking questions. Keep seeking nuance and stay curious. Until next time, I'm Richard. Cheers.